What's up, homies? MAGA. What's up, fatty? That's Mr. Fatty to you. What do you think of Big Lenny, new tall toy boy Aladdin? I don't know what that means. Has Lenny been filming with his roommate? I don't know what you're talking about. That guy seems like a nice person, Lenny's roommate. Jay, I'm training using a log and blocks tie wrap to it. I guess. I mean, you can grab a lot of good ideas doing just basic strongman shit out in your backyard with shit you find laying around. Trimmed my beard today. Too much work to shave my face when it gets that long. It's easier to just trim the beard. Did I just wake up? Hell no. I've been up since 3:30. I ran over to fucking Sam's Club, delivered my fucking pallets of water, came back to the hotel, dropped my trailer, then I bobtailed over to Anytime Fitness, and there's a fucking sign on the door that they're closed till April 1st. Pissed. So now I'm just chilling in the fucking hotel room all weekend. I look sad. No, actually I feel pretty good. Waiting for the president to come on. You know, the daily corona Chinese virus, Chinese flu thing they do every day? Went back to Walmart and got some more of this fucking voodoo beer. I got pretty buzzed last night off just 6 of them. How many pounds or kilograms are you now? I'm probably 320, 315, 320. Chinese people, not Chinese Americans. Let's get one thing clear. Chinese Americans are good Americans. I'm talking about Chinese people that live in China are fucked up. Chinese Americans want to be American. They assimilate into our culture as fast as they fucking can. No, so when I bash China, I'm not talking about Chinese Americans. Let's get one thing straight. What are you saying? No, they aren't. Chinese people are fucked up. They're all the same. That's funny. That's racist. China. It comes from China. I love it when Trump says it like that. China. I like it when Rush Limbaugh calls them the Chi-Coms, because they're communist. Bully, I've got COVID-19. It's nothing more than the flu. Really? For real? You might be the only person I know on social media who actually has it. Yeah, they're fucked up, man. Those wet markets where they have those poor dogs in cages, man. I would love to just go over there and fuck all those little dinks fucking up. How could you put a dog in a cage like that in a market? Dogs are man's best friend. That is so fucked up. Those dinks, they're getting what they deserve for what they do to those animals. I don't look sick. Idiot. If I look sick, it's because I'm doing too many orals. When do you think they will open everything back up? Well, it's going to come down to the individual governors. Trump is smart. Trump's a good politician. Trump doesn't want to be the bad guy and issue any kind of fucking quarantines. He's leaving it up to his governors, which is smart. It's really going to come down to what kind of piece of shit state you live in. Right now, California, Oregon, and Washington are on lockdown. New York, New Jersey, Connecticut are on lockdown. And then in the middle of the goddamn country, Illinois is on lockdown. Mandatory fucking quarantine. Only essential employees can leave. Basically, people that work in grocery stores, fire, EMS, police, doctors, nurses, healthcare providers. It's fucked up. 200 people have died in the United States from this shit. How many people died in car accidents last weekend? How many people died of fucking cigarettes last weekend? How many people died of fucking cigarettes and car accidents kill more people than fucking anything? The president's about to take the stage. He's got Ben Carson up there. Car accidents aren't multiplicative. Get Genova to say that word. I'm not sick. I think I just been on the goddamn Winstrol orals too long. Those things are fucking toxic. Corona does leave permanent damage to the lungs. Well, who gives a fuck? I'm smoking a cigarette while driving. It piss. Yeah, cigarettes are killing so many goddamn people. Why are you sniffling all the time? I don't know. Cocaine. Where's Dale? Where's my little buddy? My new little best friend. No, I'm not in Boca. I'm in Indiana. My breathing is fine. You guys are losers. How long do you think you'll live? Oh, I don't know. To 80? I don't think anybody over 300 pounds lives past 80, do they? You guys are so concerned about my health when people that are lean, like competitive bodybuilders, are fucking much more unhealthy than me. Those guys that get on stage at the fucking Arnold Classic, they're moments away from death when they get done posing before they start eating and putting fluids back in their body. Dale thinks he has better genetics than you. For what? Picking cotton? Yeah, he does. Dale's lower to the ground. Dale would be a much better cotton picker than me. Call some escorts. I'm so sick and tired of trying to call escorts. You know, you do a Google search for escort services near me, and it's all bullshit. Why can't someone just run an honest escort service? You call, you give them your credit card number, They send a girl to your fucking hotel room, you fuck her, and she leaves. My blood pressure is really not that bad. You're very uninformed. I'm always red. Are you staying away from Jason due to how unsanitary he is? Yeah, fucking Jason is disgusting. I can see Jason down there bagging groceries during this fucking coronavirus fucking pandemic, picking his nose, touching people's groceries as he puts them in the bag. Tinder. I've never been on Tinder. Brad's on Grindr, I heard. So fucking, oh, Trump's on TV now. So fucking boring with nothing to do, man. I can only beat off about once a day. Once you jack off, then the fucking internet becomes boring. Would you bang a Spanish escort? I would eat a Spanish escort. Get a hobby, Jay. Lifting heavy and eating a lot is my hobby. Comb your hairs, Jay. There, you happy? I'm not out of work. I take the weekends off usually. Most of the time on Saturday I work a half day. Today I just had to work one little quick delivery right down the street. I got here last night, grabbed a room, smoked some crack. I don't feel like smoking any crack today. You got to be in the mood. If somebody was here with some clippers, I would let them cut that top. Yeah, I'm drinking Voodoo Ranger. Exactly. I'm drinking the real good one, the Imperial IPA, 9.0 alcohol by volume. 9.0, motherfuckers. What do you think about Brad's garden? I don't know. I don't think about Brad's garden. Unless Brad's going to grow some good tomatoes and the taco queen is going to make me spaghetti. I don't care. Is it normal to squat more than deadlift? Absolutely. I think that's kind of when a beginner lifter is always going to be able to deadlift more than he can squat. If you're squatting properly. If you're squatting to depth, meaning, close to parallel, a beginner is always going to be able to deadlift more than he can squat. Because deadlift, the technique is much easier to learn, and technique, it just involves much more just brute strength in a beginner lifter. Don't confuse it with an advanced lifter. I'm only talking about beginners here. So, as you progress and you get better at squatting, eventually your squat is going to surpass your deadlift. At that point, that's when you could probably say, hey, I'm no longer a beginner. I'm a intermediate, advanced lifter. One of those, I don't know. You can't really just grade everybody on one simple test. And they might be equal for a while. Let's say you got a 405 fucking squat and a 405 deadlift. Nothing wrong with that. Brad can't squat 405, the male prick, but he can pull 405. You ever do hex bar deadlifts? No, it's gay. Are you talking about a trap bar when you say hex bar? Like those things that go around you? The only time I ever used a trap bar for training was I used it to train for the farmer's walk. For the strongman I did. Would you eat Chinese food now? Yeah, I love Asian food. I love ethnic food. Italian food, Mexican food, Thai food. See, I like Thai better than Chinese. And there's really no such thing as Chinese food. I mean, China's so fucking big. There's like 5 different ethnic groups, or at least in China. That's like saying, it's like comparing food in Alabama to food in New Jersey. It's just, you can't just say Chinese food. I think, instead of stressing about training, I think I'm just going to take 2 weeks off. I mean, just fuck it. Biden or Bernie? Definitely Biden. Bernie's a goddamn communist. Even though I don't agree with everything Joe Biden says, he still doesn't hate America like Bernie does. Really, my only main problem with Joe Biden is his anti-gun rhetoric, which really isn't his real view. When Joe Biden talks anti-gun, he's just pandering to his base. I don't see Joe Biden as a gun grabber. I think he really made a blunder when he had that announcement with Beto O'Rourke. Beto O'Cuck, and said he was going to be his gun-grabbing czar. You can't win an election in America appointing a fucking homosexual your gun-grabbing czar. The gym closed. I just do a little band work at night, walks for cardio. Yeah, go to the park. Where they have those stupid fucking exercise trails, and do chin-ups and dips. I think you could maintain almost all your upper body size doing chin-ups and dips. I can only do about 3 chin-ups. I can do about 3 sets of 3 chin-ups. I can do about 9 chin-ups, 3 sets. 3 sets of 3. That's how tough they are when you're over 300 pounds. Push-ups, too many reps. yeah, you can get a good pump doing push-ups, but if you're not on a ton of drugs, getting a pump really doesn't do shit. But if you're on gear, yeah, getting a pump is great because you're getting the drugs in your muscles. Hamburg is in Mack Truck's DMs. Wouldn't surprise me. Hamburg is probably DMing Mack Truck right now. Oh, Yay Master sent you DM to avoid all of these problems with Joe Paitaro. You should DM Yay Masters, put an end to this silly feud. I posted those 2 DMs that I sent to Wesley. You are aware Mack Truck would kick the shit out of you, right? For one thing, I think he's a lot younger than me. Isn't he only about 40? Let me ask you a question. I'm not going to just let him do it. I'm not going to just lay down on the ground and say, give me my beating. I might break his fucking nose. I might break his jaw. You can never guarantee who's going to kick someone's ass unless the other person just gives up. Being the shorter man in a brawl is a huge disadvantage. And I never said I wanted to fight Wesley. I never said shit. Wesley is the one who's got a problem with everybody else. I just issued an Order 66. I never said shit. I'm not on his page calling him bad names. Jay, be real, nigga. Why do you think he's so tough? Because he's black? That's racist. Black people are not tougher than white people. Give me a fucking break. Mike Tyson says being shorter is an advantage. I don't think Mike Tyson is that short. Maybe to some heavyweights, but I wouldn't call Mike Tyson a shrimpy guy. Isn't Mike Tyson like 5'10", 5'11"? I mean, yeah, 5'10", 5'11" is good fighting. I'm too old to be fighting anyone. I'm 51 years old. I don't want to be rolling around on the goddamn concrete, getting all fucking scraped up. Jay, it's not that. You met PJ Braun in person and hid behind Kalura, bro. Dude, you don't know the situation. Give me a break. PJ and I never really wanted to fight each other, bro. If you're that stupid, you belong being a troll. How many people have I called out on the internet? Big Rob, fucking, Lubliner, PJ, Dale. Kalura hates you. Well, that's his prerogative. I've got nothing to say about Andrew Kalura. If I respond to that, I can't do anything about it. You can't make people like you. I tried to tell Hamburg that. PJ is actually a good dude. What I did was wrong. You guys want to say I'm a pussy because I'm admitting what I did was wrong to PJ? No, it's not. It's called being a man. I was wrong. I hated that Diana Maybrook so fucking bad. I went too far. I started affecting the fucking lives of the people that actually worked at Blackstone, which is wrong. I have no idea anything to do about PJ's legal problems. I know, I'll tell you one thing. During this corona outbreak, they're not going to throw some guy in jail for putting some banned substances in supplements. This coronavirus thing could be the best thing that ever happened to PJ. They might say, hey, pay a fine. Have a nice day. What do you think about Nate being in denial about his hair loss? I don't know. Nate's a young man. That can be devastating for a younger guy. I mean, I'm 51. I don't care when you guys make fun of my hair. You think I stay up at night worried about my thinning hair and what the trolls are saying about it? But Nate's a hell of a lot younger than me. And some young guys really have a problem with that. What would one day in jail look like for PJ? Well, for one thing, PJ's not going to jail, even if he gets time. He would be going to a federal prison, which is like the type of place Martha Stewart went. Federal prison is nothing like state or county prison. Federal prison is a breeze. What's up, Kian? You fucking hottie. How drunk are you? I'm on my second beer, you clown. Remember Pearl Harbor? Did you guys see that Andrew released a video with all the outtakes from Vegas? You should do a wellness check on that kid Jared, Jay. He's from Indiana. Yeah, I drove through Plainfield on the way to down here where I'm at. I'm in like southern Indiana. Jared is a lost cause. When you're in your 20s, women can ruin you emotionally because really upstairs, you're not fully grown up yet. That's why young guys do domestic violence and get thrown in jail or punch a wall and break their fucking hand or take off in their car and get a drunk driving. When you're in your 20s, you're not all there yet. Women can ruin you. It's just a fact of life. Here's my problem with Jared. He let a woman that never even fucked him do that to him. Everyone knows pussy rots the brain. Pussy soaks into your system through your dick or your mouth if you're that lucky, and it eventually makes its way to your brain, and the enzymes in the pussy melt your brain and turn you into a retard. That's why guys in their 20s do such stupid shit. See, as you get older, you build up immunity to that. But Jared never even got the pussy. And he's on camera, like, cutting himself and hitting himself in the forehead. I can't help that kid. He needs a real, I don't know if he needs a psychiatrist. He at least needs a therapist at the bare minimum. Someone like me could make him worse. I might have a little chat with him and he might go jump off a goddamn bridge. I might say the wrong thing and it'd be like, God damn it, Jay's right. I gotta kill myself. You gotta be careful giving people that are unstable advice. He's not a loser. I think he's like Asperger's. He's like an extremely high functioning autistic. Like not like a Genova. Like he's got a real job. He can live a normal life, but he's just a little touched upstairs. He's not a bad kid, man. He's got the heart of gold. See, that's the problem. Yeah, I'm in a hotel. Do you think I would paint my wall blue? Jesus Christ. See, that's the problem with guys that have a heart of gold. They get ruined, man. Smash that lamp behind you. oh, Corona little cough. Did the Chinese release the virus to take down the U.S. economy? I don't know. Some of you guys may listen to Savage Nation. I think his name is Dr. Fred Savage, but I was listening to the Savage Nation the other day on the radio, and Savage definitely thinks that virus was weaponized. We'll see. I don't have shortness of breath, asshole. I'm just fat. Sometimes people are just fat and they don't have coronavirus. Thoughts on Eddie Hall? I really don't know anything about Eddie Hall. Seems like a decent guy. I don't know. Strong as fuck. Bigger than a horse. His name... Oh, Fred Savage is that little asshole from the Wonder Years. I said the wrong name. Who's Dr. Savage on the Savage Nation Talk Radio? No, don't fucking boycott Chinese restaurants. God, don't even say stupid shit like that. Chinese Americans are good goddamn people. I said at the beginning of this. Chinese Americans, they don't want to hurt nobody. You don't hear about Chinese fucking terrorists unless they're goddamn Muslim. Oh, coronavirus. Winnie from Wonder Years was hot. I didn't watch that show enough to really know who that was. Would you hit a two-leg takedown on Joe Rogan or what, Jay Masters? What, is Joe Rogan supposed to be a tough guy? Seems like a cool dude to me. I don't know why I would want to fight Joe Rogan, but no, I don't think for someone my size, I don't know if going in for a two-legged takedown is a smart move. Is it? Big Rob released the corona. How's Big Rob doing? Has Big Rob flipped out yet? Big Rob kind of makes me sick. The way he calls up Johnny Bravo and all that fake bullshit, and he calls up Joe Pietaro and says he wants to, start from scratch. Big Rob is unstable. I learned this when Big Rob's brother in real life, his brother, family member, his biological brother called me because the trolls were attacking his business. And he said, man, I haven't talked to Rob in years. Rob just, you can't trust the guy. He said, Rob will stop by and everything will be fine. And you'll be getting along, and then 5 days later, Rob will show up screaming and hollering and cocksuckering you, wanting to fight you, and telling you why you fucking ruining my family. Just all sorts of fucking bullshit. I don't know if that's bipolar or what that is, but I don't know I guess to be bipolar, he'd have to get depressed. I think Rob just gets manic. Not every manic is bipolar, right? I don't know. I'm not a psychiatrist. I just play one on TV. I'm a psychiatrist to all you fucking losers. And I say losers in a very loving way. That little goddamn doctor is Dr. Anthony Fauci is on right now. Dude, these so-called fucking experts, I think we should have quarantined the vulnerable people in our population. We should have done the right thing and said, people over 65, you are fucking quarantined. People that have compromised immune systems, like people with Crohn's or lupus, you are quarantined. We should have protected, and I'm sure there's I'm not a doctor, but I'm sure there's other things like lupus where something like the corona could just kill them. Literally. We should have quarantined the vulnerable parts of our population and then just gone about life. And the rest of us would have caught the goddamn flu and we would have fucking built up our own natural immunities. By all of us quarantining, we are just breeding a weaker strain of fucking humans. We're hiding from this fucking virus. We got people like bathing in fucking hand sanitizer. Your immune system needs work. If your immune system doesn't get a challenge every once in a while, it gets weaker. Okay? Think of it like dogs. Like, I don't know, some of you guys might understand what I'm trying to say. Working dogs, like a sled dog. If you don't work a working dog, they go fucking nuts. They literally go nuts, and they go insane, and you have to put them down. Your immune system needs work. Otherwise, it just gets weak and goes away, and you'll catch everything. Hand sanitizer is the downfall of fucking the human race. I'm not saying be like Big Lenny, but every once in a while, rub some fucking dirt on it. Jesus Christ. Hand sanitizer and all these disinfectants and this and that. Fuck. Ugh. You're going to have the immune system of a newborn, someone who hasn't experienced anything. You want to get a little bit sick every once in a while. Otherwise, when you do get sick, you'll be in the hospital. It's common sense. I don't get the fucking flu shot. You know, a couple of years ago, I was at I don't know where I was. I was given blood or was in some kind of medical setting. And this nurse, she's like, well, while we got you here, do you want to get your flu shot? And I said, hell. And she said, why not? And I said, because I want my immune system to get stronger. And she said, why don't you just get the flu shot for the elderly and the infants? What? I'm going to voluntarily weaken my immune system to protect weaker segments of our society that if you believe in Darwinism is supposed to thin out the fucking weaker elderly and the weaker infants. Someone like Genova, back in the old days, would have got drowned at birth. We're not supposed to have all these weak infants. And the weak elderly, God bless them. If elderly people are weak, it's really not my problem. Because there's plenty of elderly people that are strong. Look, there's people that are 70 years old, still in the gym, fucking belting out fucking pretty decent amounts of weight for their age. Just because someone is elderly and weak, it's not my problem. Darwinism, it's good to thin the herd. It's cruel, it's not popular, and fucking people are gonna really be down on you if you talk about Darwinism and thinning the herd. But it's what kept this planet fucking pure for literally millennia. Until we became a pussy society, we started keeping all these weak elderly people alive and all these weak infants alive. And we've just become a weaker people. And I got nothing against the elderly. It's just, they're the ones that should be sequestered. And I'm all for fucking canceling school, because that doesn't hurt the economy. Those little booger eaters, they're the ones that pass it around and then bring it home to their parents, and the parents go to work. And you know what? There's another problem with our goddamn country, or the world for that matter. Everyone's all pissed about the schools being closed. What do you do with your booger eaters? Go back to 1965, before people got divorced and before women entered the workforce. You didn't need daycare. It was a better world back then. And I know progressives are going to, if a progressive heard me say that, they'd break out in hives. How can you say it was a better world in 1965? Well, it was. Sorry. Yeah, it's a good thing the booger eaters aren't going to school. That was brilliant. I think Trump could have gotten away. He should have sealed the borders in January. When he cut off traffic from fucking China, he should have gone super drastic. Instead of just sealing off travel from fucking China, he should have sealed the borders, period, from everywhere in the whole motherfucking world, and given Americans 2 weeks to get home. If you can't get home in 2 weeks, you're not getting in. Boom. Should have canceled school, sealed the borders, sequestered the elderly, sequestered people with compromised immune systems, and then the rest of us could have just gone about life as usual. I'm all for protecting the weaker members of our society. If someone's got fucking lupus or Crohn's disease or something else like that, I'd like more examples. I'm sure there are. Those are the people that need the help. Those are the people that we should be giving money to stay home from work. Big Lenny works in a swingers club where there's germs everywhere. Big black cock hanging out, dripping. Lenny's going to get the same amount of money to stay home from work as someone who has Crohn's or lupus. I don't know. It's just, there's a lot of flaws in this economic bailout. And I'm not putting Lenny down. Lenny doing what he's got to do. And trust me, I want Lenny to get that money. Lenny's work is closed for a month. I'm just using that as an example where, Lenny voluntarily works somewhere where there's fucking germs everywhere. Whereas someone with lupus or Crohn's, they could never work there. Can't go to a swingers club if you got lupus. Do men get lupus? I hate to sound ignorant, but it seems like every person I've ever talked to, met, heard about, read about that has lupus is a fucking woman. I'm sure men get lupus, but I think it's one of those things that seems to attack women more. I don't know any men with lupus. What about rickets? Does rickets only hit the African, kind of like the sickle cell? I know the sickle cell only hits the Africans. I think white people can get rickets, but I don't think it's very common. I think rickets really just goes through the African American community because they live in squalor. I don't have coronavirus, you faggot. I'll tell you what, about 6 weeks ago, I could have had coronavirus. I had a real bad fucking fever for a night. I told you guys that. Okay, Raw Rod's got some good information here. Yes, men can get lupus, but very few. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. And I didn't have any facts. I was just going on personal experience. About 6 weeks ago, I had a real bad fever. I've told you guys this story more than once. Some of you guys that have heard it are getting bored. But I went to bed with my sweats on, top and bottom sweats, and I got under the covers, and I was freezing. You know how a fever is, how bad it sucks. Then I woke up in the middle of the night, and I was just drenched in sweat because I had all those clothes on. But my fever had broke. So I took the goddamn sweats off, went back to bed. Then I had like a nagging cough for like 2 weeks. It wasn't a dry cough like they describe with the corona. It was a somewhat wet cough, like I was getting some bullshit from the lungs, but it wasn't real nasty like bronchitis. Who the fuck goes to bed in clothes, you murderer? Dude, if you got the flu, you've never gotten under the cover in fucking a tracksuit, you're an idiot. That's how you beat a fever, is you put on a tracksuit and get underneath a bunch of blankets, you dumb fuck. I don't do Netflix, that's cookie cutter. When I'm laying down in my truck, resting in my sleeper cab, I listen to Fox News Radio. Yeah, I'm a real crip. I sure am. Yeah, truck drivers still fucking work. Thoughts on Victor Conte and the Balco scandal? I really don't know shit about that. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind getting some of those gummies that fucking A-Rod was doing. What drug was A-Rod... What drug were they putting in those gummies? Was that like methyltren or methyl testosterone? Something just super fast acting? It would be out of your system in a few hours? Methyltren scares the fuck out of me, man. A fucking compound that goddamn evil, putting it in an oral. Yeah, A-Rod was doing gummies, like gummy bears, but they had the drug in them. You guys haven't heard of the gummies that A-Rod was doing? Jesus Christ. A-Rod was on the collagen stack with his injuries. Oh, Lefty Nero, what cycle you on now? I will tell you, I was doing Test, Deca, and Equipoise, and I thought the orals I had were Turinabol, but I posted a picture of the Turinabol I had, and one of you loyal fans told me that they saw something on the internet where someone had those particular Turinabol tested, and it wound up being Winstrol, and it really makes sense, because the last time I did a T-ball cycle, the exact same lab, by the end of the cycle, my joints were killing me, and I didn't think T-ball did that. So I think I got Winstrol pills, and that makes sense. You know, Winstrol is so easy to get on the black market, whereas Turinabol is going to be more difficult. Just throw a Turinabol label on some Winnie, and people are going to get decent gains, so they're going to come back and buy more. It's not like selling fake gear. You're just selling a cheaper, easier to get gear. I just said I'm on Test, Deca, and Equipoise, you clown. Of course I've tried Test and Deca. Test and Deca is like one of the oldest cycles in the world. I add EQ to everything. My philosophy is if I do Test, Deca, and EQ, I don't need to do as much Test and Deca. And EQ doesn't have any side effects, except a high hematocrit. You just got to go give blood, which I haven't done in a long time. D-ball, I got 20 of them at 10 milligram a pill. How should I take them? I guess do one a day for 20 days. Great way to start out a cycle. Wolfpack Eric, halotestin. I'm not interested in halotestin at this stage of the game. It has very, very little anabolic qualities. It's almost 100% androgenic. It's great for like MMA or boxing or wrestling, track and field, where you want aggression, but you don't want to put on any body weight. D-ball is supposed to be a great pre-workout. I personally think Winstrol orals are a great pre-workout too. Just the mental. And I'm not talking about the Turinabol I have right now that I think is Winstrol. When I was actually doing Winstrol orals, just the fucking psychological factor of swallowing a couple Winstrol pills pre-workout, the psychological edge is fucking incredible. Because Winstrol has such a great reputation as being a great drug for sports. Ever since Ben Johnson ran a 9.79 in the 1988 Olympics and beat Carl Lewis. You just get in that mode, you pop a couple of Winstrols pre-workout, and you start thinking, I'm on the same shit Ben Johnson was. You get in that mode, a little skip in your step. If you want better joints, take MK677. I don't like the way MK677 makes me feel. And it makes me hold water, which is probably from the growth hormone release. I just gave you my thoughts on Halotest. It's great for powerlifting, wrestling, boxing, MMA, somewhere where you got to make a weight class and you can't afford to gain weight. I took 30 mg D-ball a few years ago before beating the living shit out of a guy who called me a retard. Now that guy got tuned by a retard. Bet that stings. So you're a real retard? I don't get it. A lot of people in Florida rave about EPO. I don't get it. I wouldn't touch EPO with a fucking 10-foot stick. All EPO does is create a massive increase in red blood cell count. That's why endurance cyclists like Lance Armstrong love that shit. Because if you're going to run the Tour de France, you want red blood cells. So you take EPO. Shit, I get enough red blood cells out of just doing goddamn equipoise. I go give blood. I'm giving red blood cells away. I'm not going to take something like EPO that's going to make my health worse. I've heard that bodybuilders now on the pro level, like at the Arnold and the Olympia level, are actually taking EPO because they can increase their stage weight with blood weight. Think about that for a second, folks. You're in a dehydrated state. You got your body fat down about 4%. And don't tell me they're 3, because at 3 they would die. They're about 4. You got your body fat right at the level of where you die. You got your dehydration right at about the level of where you die. And then you want to gain blood weight to increase your stage weight? That's like, I don't get it. That's why bodybuilding has turned into a fucking, it doesn't make sense. I refuse to even care about bodybuilding at the Arnold or the Olympia level, because these guys are like walking corpses. Blood weight? Really? Blood weight. You don't want blood weight. That's what gives you a stroke. Sometimes I give blood, but every once in a while I do something called a double cell donation, where they take twice as much blood, but they spin it and they keep the red blood cells, and then they put the clear shit back in your arm. What's it called? Clear shit. I'm at a loss for words after 3 beers. All right, I'm running out of time, cocksuckers.